What if I told you that President Trump just landed his biggest Supreme Court victory yet, and the left is scrambling to hide it from you? In a 6-3 ruling, the court sided with Trump and struck down Joe Biden's scheme to hand out amnesty like candy. And if you stick with me to the end of this video, you will realize that this decision doesn't just change immigration law. It could change the entire balance of political power in America forever. You're going to see how 300,000 Venezuelan illegals are about to be deported and why the Democrats are terrified of this ruling. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where we cut through the nonsense to get to the truth. All right, here's a news story that the left doesn't want you to hear. President Trump has just scored what is perhaps his single largest victory in the Supreme Court. It's a chokehold on the political class that's been lying to you for years. When patriotic Americans hear this ruling, they're going to be smiling. So spread this video to your friends. Remember those Biden years between 2021 and 2025, January of? Joe Biden threw open the border and begged tens of millions of illegal aliens to pour in. He didn't just allow it, he invited them. He even sent planes down south of the border to bring them here so that they didn't have to make that perilous journey on foot. And then he rewarded them with temporary protected status, otherwise known as TPS. Remember that? Well, those days are now over. The Supreme Court just slammed the door on that rotting circus in a bombshell 6-3 ruling. The court ruled in favor of Trump, clearing the path to revoke Joe Biden's TPS for over 300,000 Venezuelan illegal aliens. Now, I'll give you three guesses who dissented, and the first two don't count. That's right. The three empty robes, Sonia Sotomayor, Elena Kagan, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, once again proving that they're not really justices. They're political activists. If the left thought Trump was finished, they just got reminded he's not only back, he's winning. This ruling reaffirms Trump's Article 2 authority, the executive power the Constitution gives him. For years, lower courts tried to choke that authority with activist rulings. But this time, the Supreme Court said enough. With this decision, Trump is now 21-0 at the Supreme Court. 0 losses. Imagine losing that badly and being a Democrat. And in their utter stupidity, the left continues to say that Trump is winning in the court because the Supreme Court sides with him. The reality is that the Supreme Court is not siding with President Trump. The majority on the court is siding with the Constitution. The reason Trump is 21-0 with their rulings is because every case Trump brought before the court was to remedy an abuse of Article 2 against the presidency by left-wing radicals of the past. So what does this mean? Over 300,000 Venezuelan illegal aliens are on their way out. Venezuela is a narco-terrorist state run by Nicolas Maduro, a dictator with a $50 million bounty on his head. And why? Because he's been flooding America with violent gangsters intentionally. Groups like Tren de Aragua trained to spread chaos in our cities. Biden's wide open border policy made it easy for them. And the cost? Over 100,000 young Americans dead from overdoses tied to narcotics pouring across that border. Now, with Trump back and the court on his side, those Venezuelan gangsters can finally be deported the hell out of here. And this isn't theoretical, guys. In recent weeks, Trump's administration has been blowing Venezuelan drug boats out of the water. Literally, the free ride is over. This ruling doesn't just deport criminals. It ends decades of fraud. Politicians pretended not to notice as illegals gamed the system, padding blue states' census numbers, hoping to steal back House seats and electoral college votes they'd lost because people fled Democrat mismanagement. This was never about compassion. It was always about raw political power for Democrats. And the proof? Well, in lower courts, Trump had a 96% loss rate. In the Supreme Court, 21 wins, 0 losses. That tells you everything you need to know. Now, the lower courts weren't real courts. They were Democrat show trials. Their goal was never justice. It was importing cheap labor and dependent voters to secure power. And if you think this is just a legal skirmish, look at Chicago. Federal agents stormed an apartment complex linked to Tren de Aragua. They repelled from Blackhawks, for goodness sake, 30 arrests, guns, drugs, prostitution, violence. And Actually, Chief Gregory Bovino had said, how about you live in the apartment next door to the Tren de Aragua members that are trafficking prostitution, guns, drugs, and taking advantage of American citizens in a violent way? That's exactly right. That's reality. The elites who preach compassion don't live next door to these thugs, these gangs. You do. So here's where we stand. Judicial tyranny, finished. The border, that's closing up, baby. Illegal aliens and criminals, deported. Venezuelan narco-terrorists, air packing their bags, if they have any. And here's the bright side. With Trump in the White House and the Constitution firmly coming back into place, America is taking control again. This is what it means to put America first. And let's keep doing that. All right. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.